I often think back to when I was finding my style. I'm sure many of us go through this, especially in our teenage years, when we want to try everything at once. You look at other girls, they seem to have it all figured out. One always has perfect curls and a nude makeup look. Another is all about the soft girl aesthetic, and a third, she's bold with graphic eyeliner and leather jackets. And then you look in the mirror and think, and what about me? Well, really, what about you? What's your style? I remember in school every day I looked different. One day I'd go for pastel eyeshadows, a little gloss, and natural hair. The next day it would be smoky eyes, red lipstick, and I felt like I was a rock star. I just couldn't pick one. And every time I asked myself, why is it so hard to choose something specific? I'm probably not the only one, right? I'm sure every one of us has thought at least once, I'll find my style and stick with it forever. But don't we change every day? Isn't style meant to reflect our moods, feelings, and changes? Sometimes I thought other girls had this fixed style, and that's what made them stand out, but I didn't have that feeling. But then one day, I heard a phrase that changed everything. Style is not a cage, but freedom. I started thinking, why do I want to pick just one? Why does it feel like if I love nude makeup, I can't do bold eyeliner? Or if today I feel comfortable in a romantic look, why can't I choose something edgy and unexpected tomorrow? Shouldn't style be playful? Why do we limit ourselves when we could be multifaceted? And that's when I realized style isn't about being stuck in one thing. It evolves with us. It's not about sticking to one image forever. It's about realizing what truly suits you, what highlights your individuality, and what's just dictated by fashion or other people's expectations. When I look at my old photos, I sometimes laugh. There were some strange combinations, but, there's a charm in that. I don't regret going through those experiments. Who would have thought that they would help me understand who I really am? Have you ever regretted experimenting with your look? Or on the contrary, do you think those experiments are what led you to discover your true style? Now, I feel most comfortable with a more natural makeup look, but that doesn't mean I can't go for bold eyeliner or wear something unusual when I'm in the mood. The important thing is that I no longer strive to meet anyone else's standards. I simply listen to myself. And you know what? I'm not the only one who has realized this. Many women I've talked to say they've stopped being afraid of change. They've started to understand that the most important thing is to be in harmony with themselves. And you know what's interesting? When you're confident in your look, others notice it too. People don't just see your beautiful makeup or stylish clothes. They see your state of being. They feel your confidence. That's why, when you feel confident, your style takes on a whole new meaning. You're not just wearing clothes, you're embodying them. You're not just doing makeup. You're carrying your confidence out into the world. I remember how I used to think style was something fixed and rigid. But now I understand that style is an expression of my inner freedom. Isn't that true? Don't we all deserve that? To be ourselves? To choose what we like without holding ourselves back? So if you're currently looking for your style, just listen to yourself. Try different things. Experiment. Don't be afraid of change. Because what makes you happy, that's your style. And don't we all deserve to be honest with ourselves and allow ourselves to be who we want to be, not who others think we should be? So, ladies, don't be afraid to be different. It only highlights your uniqueness. And remember, style is first and foremost about you. How you feel in your body, in your look, in your own skin. Because that's what makes you unforgettable. Another thought that came to me is that style isn't just about what we wear or how we do our makeup. It's how we behave, how we talk, how we move. Style is essentially the energy we radiate. And that energy changes when we begin to accept ourselves for who we are. I remember how hard it was for me to wear certain things because I thought I would look weird or people would think I was not like everyone else. Like many of us, I was worried about what others would think. It's strange, but I'm probably not the only one, right? Maybe some of you experienced that too. The worry that something wouldn't fit or wouldn't be on trend, but then you realize you don't need to follow everyone else to feel confident. I think that's when you really start to feel freedom. The freedom to choose what you like without worrying about standards. Because honestly, most people are just wrapped up in their own problems and they don't pay much attention to how you look. And if they do, it's usually admiration, not criticism. We often limit ourselves, thinking others are judging us. But when you start expressing yourself, that fear fades away. I remember when I first started learning about makeup, not knowing what would suit me. I experimented, tried things, and wasn't afraid to make mistakes. And you know what? I realized that mistakes aren't a bad thing. They're just part of the process. If it weren't for those failed attempts, I would never have arrived at what I truly love. It's the same with style. At some point, I realized that the perfect style isn't the one everyone approves of. It's the one you choose for yourself, no matter what others say. And when I realized this, everything became easier. I stopped being afraid of what people would think. I realized I didn't have to follow any rules. All I had to do was be myself. And that applies not only to makeup and clothing, but to how I feel inside. And, I truly feel that this moment of self-acceptance was a turning point for me. It wasn't just a change in my clothes or makeup. It was a deep, internal shift in how I started to see myself. That's when I understood that style is so much more than appearance. It's an expression of inner confidence and freedom.